Thank you for being here. I know I'm going off a little bit. Yeah, the sweaters, I break out the sweaters, the sweatshirts. I don't like being closed in, so everything I need has to have an open up front, like a zip down front for some reason, or even a half zip. Yeah, it's interesting, Catherine. I never thought about allergies too much until my advanced age of life. I'm not that advanced, but if you know what I'm saying, like growing up younger, I didn't was out all the time, but now it's like, yes, the season changes um, cause me some reactions. Sure. Yep. Yeah. Fall is great. Thank you, Trevor. All right, we'll get into this. Let me get my video. Give me 1 second. Yeah, please put it up in chat. Any other comments or thoughts? Actually, I'll put the quotes up. Welcome back to Introduction to Business. I am your professor, Mr. Paolucci, or Professor P, if you prefer, but not sure I prefer Professor P. That sounds kind of awkward. Let's go with Professor or the Prof or Professor Paolucci works. And kind of lengthy quotes of the week. So I'll let you read them while I go and just grab some more water, and we'll kick this little session off. Hey, just trying to get my webcam going. It's weird. Everything's taking a little bit longer today. I don't know why. On a Wednesday, my internet, my slides. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed those quotes of the week by Ben Horowitz and Meg Whitman. I kind of like Meg Whitman's quote too, right? Do what you love and success will follow. Passion is the fuel behind a successful career. All right, so quick agenda for the day. Did our welcome back already. We'll get right into Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is about management, the management process, organizational structure, and good stuff that leads into your business plan assignment as well. So I'll spend a little extra time with a few things there when we get into Chapter 5. We're going to take a break, maybe halfway or 3/4 of the way through. We're going to watch that quick video. It's short, less than 5 minutes, on McDonald's University, or we talked about it on Monday or last week, called Hamburger University, which is a training university for McDonald's employees. So if you want to own your own McDonald's, if you want to be a manager, if you just want an employee, and they talk about it in the video as well, even other companies and even schools send their students there or try to get their students enrolled there. But enrollment in McDonald's University is actually really, really tough. So you're going to watch that video before we leave today. And I kind of, I built in a little extra time, or I added extra time to the Chapter 5 assignment due date. So originally it was scheduled possibly this weekend. I pushed the due date up or back until October 22nd. So hopefully you don't mind that little bonus I gave you there. The Chapter 5 assignment is not due until the end of next week. Now, I believe that's a Friday, October 22nd. So if you'd like to give me a little thumbs up in the chat or something, or raise your hand to approve, I don't mind a little positive reinforcement early in the afternoon. Oh, thank you. I was half joking, but no, I appreciate it. Thank you for the raised hands and the thumbs up. That works for me. So an extended time on that. But that also being said, don't forget about the business plan assignment, please. I know we're about 6 weeks to 7 weeks away from that being due, but it's good if you just start piecing that out now and start working on that now in case you have questions, in case you have other parts of it you want to spend more time on. All right, because that's a good chunk of your grade. And I mentioned this when we talked about it during the review. I'm a little bit harder on that, grading that, than I am at other assignments because it is a semester assignment. You did have all semester to work on it. So, all right, enough about that for now. A quick PSA or public service announcement. The next business club meeting is October 21st. So it's now a Thursday. So a week from tomorrow, 3:30 in the afternoon. If you want to sign up for the business club, if you're not a member yet, we need your school email. So it's got to be your student.sussex.edu email address. And you just send it to me or send it to businessclub@sussex.edu, and we'll get you on the mailing list. There's no obligation. We just email you to invite you to the club meetings. We invite you to the events. That's all. Just putting you on the list for it. And I apologize. I don't know if it's from this group, but I did get a couple emails yesterday after the meeting had started. I couldn't get back in touch with you in time to invite you in. Some of you had trouble getting in, so we didn't realize it while the meeting was going on because we had a pretty good group yesterday. So, or Monday afternoon it was. So if you want to make the next meeting, it's actually a Thursday afternoon now, Thursday at 3:30, runs for about 30, 45 minutes. And I'm going to send an email out by this weekend with an update for that. So if you want to join, just a quick email to myself. I'll put you on the mailing list. That's all it is. All right. Any questions about any of that? Any delayed questions to the business plan assignment? Yeah, please feel free, because other people might have the questions as well. So if not, we'll jump into Chapter 5. So Chapter 5, managing the business. So I added this graphic into here, into this slide. And just thought it was interesting. What do you call these graphics? Not thought bubbles. I used to use them in marketing. My earlier group we didn't know either. Isn't that funny? I used to use these in marketing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but sometimes in marketing, if we wanted to find out what our audience or customer, like what wording they use the most, or let's say we took a speech. We took a speech from a candidate and we wanted to find out which words did this candidate use most. Which words were used most in this speech? What words were most prevalent or prominent? Well, we put them into a software program, and we'd get something like this graphic produced for us. And then the larger the word, the more it was used, and the the larger the word, usually the more impact or significant it meant to whatever that speech was, or commercial or radio spot, whatever it may be. So kind of interesting, but I like this one that talks about management. And if you notice in there, it's got everything from responsibility to ownership to power to passion to culture. So everything that goes into a manager vision. And we're gonna break that down and talk about that as well. So quick introduction to the chapter. We'll explore the importance of strategic management and effective goal setting, examine functions that constitute the management process, look at basic management skills and roles, and explain the importance of corporate culture. All right, so we get into our first term, our first concept, which is management. The process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling an organization's resources to achieve its goals. For a second. I have kind of old school Star Wars mug that I've had this one for a while, many years. It's got a lot of use. A little bit of flavored coffee today. Coffee with peppermint mocha. Yes. And if it was after hours, let's not get crazy, but after hours, I'd add maybe a Hershey Kiss, some chocolate into it. A special treat is a candy cane and some whipped cream. How about that? Maybe a little cocoa powder. There we go. You want to get your sugar fix for the day or for the week? That's my special concoction. You come to one of our holiday events, maybe I'll be making that. Maybe not so much caffeine or sugar, but something to that effect. Maybe without the coffee. Yes, pumpkin spice. I have pumpkin spice flavored coffee beans too, or coffee grinds. You know what that is. Yeah. All right. So management. So management, we break it down into 4 functions, right? Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. And we're going to talk about each of those. What we find is important is that the management and the management process, it's important in all types of organizations, not just for-profit organizations, meaning we need managers in nonprofits. We need managers in charities. You have managers in churches. You have managers in synagogues. You have managers in medical facilities, right? Hospitals, educational institutions, and government agencies. So management's needed all types of businesses, all types of areas. And regardless of the size of the business, the manager can be its most important asset or most important resource. So even if you're a sole proprietor and you're the one employee or single owner of the business and you're the one employee, you're still going to need these management functions. All right, so let's break down the 4 functions of the management process. So our first is planning. Management process for determining what an organization needs to do and how best to get it done. So planning involves knowing what we need to do and then figuring out the best method to get it done. And I know in there's 3 main components of planning, and they get more into detail in your textbook in this. So please check that out. But I'm going to give you the an overview of those 3 main components. I'm going to put it into the chat. So 3 main components of planning. First is to set goals. Second is to strategize. And third is implementation. So if you see that down there in chat. All right, so 3 main components of planning. What do we need to do? Right? That's the setting goals part. Well, how do we achieve those goals? We need to strategize. So what's our plan? How do we get there? And then what are the steps we need to accomplish those goals? The implementation, to act on it, right? So we plan it, we strategize it, and then we implement it. Three main components of planning. And I believe there is a 1 or 2 of exam questions. So your midterm exam is coming up in a week or so, or 2 weeks. I know I should know that offhand, right? Your midterm exam's coming up. So there's a question on your exam, just giving you an idea. And you guys took the quiz already, so maybe you're okay with multiple choice. But I think it asks you, what are the 4 major functions of management? And then one of them is missing, or which one fits. It gives you 3 and then asks you for the 4th, that sort of thing. So just giving you a heads up, little pro tip for your exam. Our second function is organizing, management process of determining how best to arrange an organization's resources and activities into a coherent structure. And one way we do this, one way we visualize this organizational structure is an organizational chart. And it helps us map out the people and the resources in our organization so we understand its roles and relationships. So that's what an organizational chart does for us. It gives us a visual representation of the relationship between the people in our company, in our business. Any questions so far? If not, we got 2 more functions to go into. So our third function is leading. Management process of guiding and motivating employees to meet an organization's objectives. Give you that for a second. So it's important that we realize that leading is not just giving orders. Leading is more than management, right? Leading, you can be a leader and not necessarily be a manager. And you can be a manager and not necessarily be a leader, right? So leading is less about demanding and more about motivating and guiding. So I just put a couple examples up there of successful business leaders, at least to their own people. Now, it depends on who you ask, right? I got Walt Disney up there. So Walt Disney, started from a couple of cartoons and scratch and built basically this empire. Sam Walton, you don't know Sam Walton. Sam Walton is the founder of Walmart. So Sam Walton is the founder of Walmart. And if you talk to the people that have worked for or currently work for Walmart and Sam Walton, a lot of them say the same things about Sam Walton: a positive leader, motivational, some inspiring, maybe maybe a few decades ago, but there is one common clause I've heard among them. And they talk about leadership and this, and I'll put it in chat for you. And this is something I think we've talked about before. You see this mutually beneficial relationship, which I think is a great term. Mutually beneficial relationship. What does that mean to you when it comes to management, when it comes to leadership? What does that really mean, mutually beneficial relationship? I think we used it before. I think it's good. I think it works here as well. Why is that important? Why is a mutually beneficial relationship important, especially in the workplace? And it's important in other areas as well, but why is it important in business, a mutually beneficial relationship? Throw your answers up there in chat for me. Hopefully you're still with me. You haven't bowed out yet. You got yourself some coffee midday afternoon. Why is that important? What does that mean, a mutually beneficial relationship? Do me a favor, put it up in chat real quick while I step away. Thank you. I see some replies there. Yeah, Alyssa, the great point. Both parties gain something from it. Yes. Dominic, keep all levels of company happy and working together. That's definitely a positive, and if it can be achieved, a great benefit to the company as a whole. Yeah, support of each other equally. Sure. Thank you, Catherine. Jason, both parties gain advantages. Yep. And equally gain from the relationship and a win-win. Yeah, Connor, and thank you, Jason, too. And Connor, yeah, I like that too, a win-win, right? That win-win scenario, which can be kind of hard to achieve, if you're an employee of a company, you're making a certain wage, but it doesn't mean just because you're working for an owner or working for a corporation, that relationship can't be mutually beneficial. So you're getting an experience out of it. You're getting pay out of it, right? You're growing in your career. At the same time, you're achieving your goals. The company's achieving its goals by our basic goal there is making profit. So if that mutually beneficial relationship can be achieved, it's a great term, Connor. It's a win-win for both parties involved. And, I think hopefully this mutually beneficial relationship happens elsewhere for you as well. I think your instructor and your professor relationship hopefully is mutually beneficial, right? You're getting your education, you're getting experience, you're learning new skills. And at the same time, your professor, your instructor has the chance and opportunity to share those skills with you, to share that knowledge with you, to help you grow. So they're growing on their path as well. They're achieving their goals, and at the same time, you're achieving your goals, right? That mutually beneficial relationship. It's great. All right, good stuff there. Thank you for that. Thank you for contributing. So controlling is the process of monitoring an organization's performance to assure it's meeting its goals. So the controlling also has to do with cost. It has to do with results and monitoring results. So all levels of management will be involved in some function of controlling as well, right? Performance, cost efficiency. So let me show you a graphic. Just gives you some basics of the control process. I'm going to enlarge this on my screen. Hopefully it doesn't mess you up. You'll see this control process. On the top is establish standards. In the middle, it's measure actual performance against the standards. And then once you do that measurement, you ask, does that measured performance match your standards? And if no, see that on the right side there, if no, you need to adjust performance or standards. So what do you do as a manager, as a leader, as an owner, if your performance doesn't meet standards? You know, what could you do? You know, what could you do for your employees? And it's going to be different than what you could do for your product or service, right? So what do? You got, I mean, maybe you've been there in your own life. Maybe you've been there as working for a company, or maybe just, you know, you want to, if you want to put it up there in chat, what could you do? Maybe in a couple words. It doesn't have to be too elaborate. On a very, I don't want to say basic level. But what can you do when your employees' performance or your company's performance doesn't meet your expectations, doesn't meet your standards, doesn't meet your needs? Probably a couple things you can do, right? From the employee side compared to the products and services that you're hopefully selling side. Oh, Alyssa's a good point. Alyssa, you mind if I amend that a little bit? Sure, show them how they should be doing it. So how do we do that with training, right? Or improve training? Great, yeah. Oh yeah, Connor, right there. Yes. And I like that. So Connor, if I can revise that a little bit, incentives, right? Employee of the month plaque going up on the wall. But incentives, maybe there's a monthly bonus for achieving your goals, right? Maybe it's a sales company. So as a salesperson, what might you get? Well, you might get commission from your sale. Well, maybe that means increased commission. You know, money could be a good motivator. So maybe it's a reward. Maybe it's incentive. Yeah, maybe it's retraining. I think I just made up my own word there, but maybe it's training. So that's on the employee side. I think all really good stuff. Because we, as a leader, as a manager, you need to set that example. From the product and the services side, well, maybe we need to reduce cost. Maybe we need to lower price. Maybe we need to be more efficient so we can increase our profit margins. All right, not too much on the control process, but these are all things that go into into management. Let me ask you this. Let's say things are going well. Things are going well. What should we do, or what could we do? Let's say we meet our expectations, we meet our standards, or we're above expectations, right? We exceeded our goals. Any ideas? What should we do, or what could we do? Oh, Alyssa, was that for this one? Yes, reward employees. Yeah, sure, we can still offer incentives. Yes. Upgrades. Interesting, Connor. So let's not rest on our laurels, but let's improve our process. Let's improve our product or service. Definitely. Good forward thinking. Yes. All of you. Dominic, too. Yes. Reward employees. Possibly hire more employees, or even, that's another great point. Companies do that, right? You meet your sales goals, you meet your expectations. What does the company do? They raise the bar. Great point. Yeah, they raise the goals. All right, so you made your holiday bonus. Well, next year the bar is going to be put a little bit higher, right? And it's a win-win if you meet the next tier of goals, you meet the rewards. Maybe you get the extra day off. Maybe you get the vacation. Maybe you get the bonus money. Or maybe that leads to a promotion for you as well. Maybe it's just an executive upgrade, a job title upgrade, position. And at the same time, the company achieves its goals, right? It's mutually beneficial. All right, good stuff there. Nice job there. So there's different levels of responsibility in an organization. And, we talked about Sam Walton. We talked about Walt Disney. I used some different graphics here. I little change it up from Star Wars, right? If you probably recognize these characters from Star Trek, two of my favorite leaders or managers of their starships from Star Trek, if you didn't know. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, that reminds me of my dad. A top manager responsible for a firm's overall performance and effectiveness. So the top manager could be the president of a company, could be the CEO, the chief executive officer, could be a VP, vice president, CFO. I think we asked for that before, right? What did CFO stand for? There in chat. What does CFO stand for? Oh, I didn't mean to put the parallel bar there, but yeah, thank you, Jason. Nice job. Chief Financial Officer. Yeah, so top manager, a CFO, Chief Financial Officer. If I had to break it down to the three main functions of the top manager, I don't know if I have this on another slide. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to move ahead. I'll put them down here in the chat. Ooh, I lost my three main functions of your textbook goes more into depth in these. I'm trying to pull this from my own past notes, and it's like everything is slow today. So 3 main functions of a top manager: set policies for the company, make big decisions, and then represent the company. So sometimes they set the policies, they make decisions about the direction of the company, or do we buy into the company? Do we move out of this market? Do we hire more employees? So make these big decisions. And a lot of times the top manager is asked to be the face of the company, is asked to represent the company. I don't want to go too much into that. Middle managers, manager responsible for implementing strategies and working towards goals set by top managers. So the middle managers consist of plant managers, operation managers, marketing managers, regional sales managers. Those are all middle managers. I used to be a marketing manager for one of the companies I worked for, and that role can change depending on the company. So As a marketing manager, I was in charge of marketing for 40 stores on the East Coast and a couple stores down in Puerto Rico. And it was the advertising, promotion, and sometimes it was supply chain as well, making sure the proper product was in the right stores at the right time. Sometimes those middle managers on bigger companies will have areas of responsibility. And then first line managers, your office managers, store managers as well are your first line managers, responsible for supervising employees, your first line managers. So a lot of times employees in a retail store or a department of a company, their direct report, the person they'll report to will be that first line manager. Right, how we doing? HR managers, human resource managers, hire, train employees, evaluate performance, and determine compensation. So larger companies may have multiple human resource managers, multiple HR managers. So those HR managers are responsible for one or two or what might be hiring and training, or hiring and unfortunately laying off, right? Another department might be for compensation and benefits, really depending on the size of the company. Operations manager responsible for production, inventory, and quality control. And a marketing manager, as I kind of talked about already, responsible for getting products from producers to consumers. Pricing, promotion, distribution. And a lot of the larger companies will have multiple marketing managers. So Nike, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, possibly as well. So if you're more into technology and information, IT, right? Information technology, becoming an information manager might suit you more or suit you better. So if you see my little icon there of Data, you're familiar with Data, another one of my favorite characters from earlier Star Trek, The Next Generation, right? That was that Star Trek. Information managers design and implement systems to gather, organize, and distribute information. And your top information manager in a lot of companies will be this person. What does CIO stand for? Your top information manager in a lot of companies, especially these days, they've got more of a prominent position. The CIO is Chief blank blank. If we were in the classroom together, I'd do this is a tough one to do hangman with you. Chief Information Officer. Thank you, Alyssa. Nice job. You get my thumbs up in the form of a hand raise. Yeah, so the Chief Information Officer, right, helps design systems like other information managers. They deal with customers. They deal with databases. They deal with sales information, product information. Great. And then financial managers plan and oversee accounting functions and financial resources. There again, the financial manager is going to be your CFO, your controller or comptroller, your VP of finance. I apologize for the background. Give me one quick second. Hey, sorry about that. All right, a little bit more. We'll maybe take a little break, and I'll take a 10 in a few minutes. Management roles and skills. Won't go too much into this. Talks about it. This really gets into no matter what level of an organization you're on, right? No matter where you are in an organization, if you're at the top, if you're in the middle, lower levels, you're going to need these different skill sets, and you might play these different roles. So interpersonal, informational, decisional. So, will you be the liaison between management and employees? Or will you be the leader that needs to lead your team, right? Lead your employees? Will you be that figurehead? Or you want to distribute information? So maybe you're in charge of communications. Maybe you're in charge of public relations, that informational role. Or do you need to make decisions? Do you need to take the chances, have the entrepreneurial role? And that's the decisional, right? So depending on where you are in an organization, you might need to have these different roles and different skills as well. So some of the skills that you'll need are technical. So technical skills, they lean more towards accounting, programming, design as well, technical skills. Human relation skills. Sometimes these are called soft skills, the human relation skills. Your ability to get along with people, your ability to be positive and affect change. Are you empathetic? Are you understanding? Right? How well can you get along with people from different backgrounds and different skill levels? Those are human relation skills. I think really effective managers and effective leaders understand these different skills. And we talked about this earlier, you may not think you have them or know you have them or have these skills to begin with, but you can learn them, you can acquire them as you go through your career, as you go down your educational path. Conceptual skills, do you have the ability to recognize when a change is needed? Do you have the ability to take advantage of a new opportunity, a new invention, a new innovation, right? But at the same time, can you recognize threats? Can you recognize competitors? Can you recognize when things aren't going well? Those are conceptual skills. And those are really going to help you as a business leader, as a business owner, or just a manager in a business as well, those conceptual skills. All right, 2 more here and we'll take a break, all right? Decision-making skills. Skills in defining problems and selecting the best courses of action. So decision-making skills, I don't have the textbook slide on this, but you gather facts, You identify solutions, and you look at alternatives if needed. Part of the decision-making tree process. I don't want to write it out for you too much. I don't want to go too much into depth in it, but it's part of that decision-making process. The next one is interesting, the time management skills. Skills associated with the productive use of time. So how do you handle your daily tasks? How do you prioritize? Are you making efficient use of your time? There's an interesting article. I want to try to find this article for you. Our book talks about it a little bit. I can go back if needed, and we're going to take a quick break after this. But this is, I think this is a little bit dated. That's why I want to find you this new article. I think this is a little bit dated. Even though our textbook is updated from this past year, I think this section is a little bit dated. Leading causes of wasted time at work, right? Paperwork. It's kind of interesting because you think paperwork is part of the work process, right? So how could it be a waste of time? But paperwork was number one. And a lot of that paperwork isn't actually doing the paperwork. It's deciding which of the paperwork is important is what takes up the time. Telephone calls, I guess, our calls have, since email came out. See, I move email up top of the list. I know for myself, just being a professor in a community college, I mean, I have other roles as well, so I don't want to take anything away from that. But so I wear multiple hats. But I know for me, my email, there's email every day, if not hourly. So that email, if I don't look at that email in a few hours, that builds up. So I know for me, and I don't want to call it a waste of time. This is important. Communication is important, but if you're not prioritizing, if you're not efficient in the way you handle emails, it could lead to a lot of time usage that maybe you didn't have to spend that much time on it. So paperwork, telephone calls, meetings. Yes, even today we can call some of those meetings a waste of time. So there's a really good book I have on the bookshelf. Two books actually on the bookshelf outside my office and on campus outside the e-building, in the e-building outside my office. And I've read these like a few times in the last couple of years. I got them a few years ago. I'm going to put the title of one of them down. One title of the book I read that's helped me out. It's a short book. It's even like a small book. You'll see it. One's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. And like in parentheses, it might say, and it's all small stuff, which is kind of funny. But don't sweat the small stuff. And the second book I have there on the shelf, if it's still there, if not, it's in my office. Don't Sweat the Small Stuff at Work. So one's more of a personal for yourself. The other one's more about work and how to prioritize, how to manage. And they're small books, but they go over important concepts and ways to handle this type of leading causes of wasted time. So I really enjoy them, and they're quick reads as well. I just want to get into just one more skill. Or two quick skills. I apologize. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back for the video. Okay. Give you a little, stick with me. It looks like we lost a couple people, which is not good. I haven't taken attendance yet, but I got to put that on them. So global management skills, right? Understanding the foreign markets, understanding cultural differences, and why certain things happen in other markets. Why do our competitors in other countries act the way they do? What are their practices? What are their motivations? Why do people buy from them instead of a foreign company or an international company. So all part of global management skills. And the ability to collaborate and partner with other people from around the world. Very important. It's one of the reasons why a lot of companies transfer people, allow people or want people to work in other parts of the world to learn those global skills, right? Learn those global management skills, learn from other cultures, understand other people from other places. And then one more and we'll break. All right, but I can go back to that slide if you need me to. Management and technology skills, understanding new forms of technology. I think this past year, 2 years was a great example, right? I know for myself, I use video conferencing in a lot of different capacities. I've been fortunate the last few years. Zoom came along. I didn't know Zoom was going to be so big, as a teleconferencing tool, software, Zoom. Right now we're using the big blue button on Canvas. More technology and new technology skills that we needed to learn, right? Communication, teamwork in a virtual setting, communication in a virtual setting, virtual conferencing, video conferencing. How do we handle less boundaries? And how do we process the information from these sources as well? All part of management. All right, nice timing. Why don't we break for 5 minutes? All right, you've been a good group, 50 plus minutes already. I can't believe it. Why don't we break for 5 minutes? How does that sound? If you're still with me, you can give me a hands up or a thumbs up. Thank you. Multiple hands go up now. I'm going to take attendance while you guys are on break. I'm going to go mute for a second. I'm going to turn the screen off, but just because I'm taking attendance. Thank you. Yes. And we'll come back. We'll watch that McDonald's video and we'll wrap up a little bit more at chapter 5. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you had a good break. So I'm going to keep myself off screen for a minute because I want to start this video and hopefully that little Happy Meal image doesn't make you too hungry, or if you had your lunch already. It's actually making me hungry, and I don't eat that much McDonald's, but I can go for a burger and fries, yes. So we talked on Monday about McDonald's University, right? Hamburger U. And I think this is a really good example of, in the last couple of classes, we talked about franchising. We're talking about management and management skills now. We're talking about organizational skills as well. And this short video, it's less than 5 minutes. We'll probably wrap up on this. This video combines all of that together in this Hamburger University. So I'm going to start this video. We'll make sure the volume works first as well. So hopefully there's an ad in the beginning. We can test the volume with the ad. But if you don't hear it well, please let me know. I'll turn up the volume on my end and throw it up in the chat for me, please. I'll monitor that. Even though I'm not on screen, I'm still here with you. So, and first, I think I have to tend to the puppy really quick. But let me load this up. Give me one quick second.
Evolve your business with.
Move this here. What does that do? All right, let me know if you can hear this, and I'm going to put
2% cash back on your first $50,000 spent. 1% after that.
Hamburger University. It's exactly what it sounds like. McDonald's training ground for their high potential managers. And they graduate with this, a degree in hamburgerology.
Lunch Coke, thank you. Have a good day.
Hamburger University.
All right. Is our volume's okay? All right. Good. Thank you, Dominic. This is what I was looking for. Benet got you. Yes. Yep. I was just waiting for it to start up. All right. So let's watch this. I took attendance, so we'll close on this as we go. And we can talk more about this next Monday when you come back. But let's watch this together, and then we'll say our goodbyes at the end of it. It's short, less than 4 minutes. You can probably see that. And I'll post the link for this in the announcement section too. If you want to watch it again later, you can do that too.
It's exactly what it sounds like. McDonald's training ground for their high potential managers. And they graduate with this, a degree in hamburgerology.
Lunch Coke, thank you. Have a good day.
We need more sausage, please.
McDonald's serves 60 million people a day, but here at Hamburger U, students don't learn how to flip burgers. The food is actually fake. These students are learning the management skills to make a restaurant hum in a 5-day course, grooming them to be owners.
Do we have a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel coming, guys?
In the first simulation, long lines, frustrated customers, and flustered managers. Then the orders get more complicated, designed to test the limits of the operation.
Stephanie, any more muffins, please?
How do you think this is impacting the customer?
Everything. All you see is the manager running back and forth and not really helping. It's more chaotic than anything else.
So, back to class.
All right, my teams. Should we talk about what just happened?
They were friendly. I just wasn't getting my food very quickly.
It was just really busy and kept holding, so she kept sending everybody on break.
We see high service times?
Yes.
Unhappy crew?
Yes.
Unhappy customers?
Yes.
So they try again. this time applying the lessons of the classroom to cut the chaos in the kitchen.
We're going to be smiling burgers.
Yes, we are.
So I decided to try for myself.
That's your order,
Okay.
and you're going to need to act this out a little bit. A little agitated. Obviously, in a hurry. Imagine
Yeah,
how that
perfect.
works.
I have to act agitated. Thank you. Okay, here we go.
Hi, would you like to try an unspoken today?
I would like cinnamon melts, a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, a sausage, egg McMuffin, and a hash brown. I'm just really in a rush. Pretty fast so far. Let's see if they get the order right.
We have a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel. We have a cinnamon roll, and we have one hash brown.
And what about the sausage McMuffin?
Sausage, egg muffin.
Let's see. Come on, guys. They said it was in a rush. Let's go.
I got it for you. All right,
That was 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's still rushed, but the second service was much smoother.
2 cinnamons for side 2 on side 1.
Better communication made a difference.
Our professors teach us, very important life skills about, customer relations and most importantly, running a multi-billion-dollar company.
How many McDonald's do you want to own and operate?
As many as I can.
Founded in 1961 in an Ohio basement, Hamburger U has grown from just 14 students to more than 250,000 graduates, including McDonald's current CEO. So it's no joke. McDonald's says this is the key to the company's success.
We may be a big corporation in the eyes of many, but in the restaurants, in that local community, it's that operator that makes the connection.
The transformation comes in the form of, I can do this. I realize that I am a leader.
Over the years, companies like Target and Walmart have come to watch how McDonald's trains its employees, and some colleges even give students credit for attending Hamburger U, showing there's much more behind those famous golden arches. Poppy Harlow, CNN Money, Oak Brook, Illinois. JCPenney's Fall Mystery Sale is here.
All right.
Will you save on beautiful?
Well, that was pretty interesting. How many of you would like to take a road trip to Chicago to see this in action? Want to go to Hamburger University? They'd be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind going, actually. I thought that was pretty interesting. So hopefully you enjoyed that quick video, kind of showing you management in action and what franchises go through for their employees. And we talked about some of the benefits of franchising, and that's a big one right there if you can get into McDonald's Hamburger University and learn those skills. So I really wouldn't mind going and experiencing that sometime. But yeah, maybe a road trip to Chicago would be kind of fun, right? And get extra credit for it, or even get college credit for it to go through it. I would do it. So let's wrap up there for today. Thank you all for being here today. I lost my puppy somewhere. She would say goodbye to you as well. But thank you for your participation. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Hopefully we'll see you on Monday. If you're not part of the Business and Entrepreneurial Club, shoot me an email to sign up for that. Our next meeting is next Thursday at 3:30 p.m. But other than that, have a great weekend. Thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your Wednesday and enjoy the weather and enjoy your week. Thank you all. You too. Take care. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Alexis. You too. Emily, you too. Have a great one. Kyle, thank you. Christopher, thank you. Alyssa, that was quick. Catherine, thank you. You too. Logan, Dominic, awesome. Thank you very much, everyone.